What's up, guys? Like I said, I would do. I'm back with the Proposal Elements Masterclass. You guys asked, here we are talking about it. Look at that. I'm a woman of my word. I said, if you guys need help with things and you let me know, I would help you. Here we are. Got my notes, and I hope you got your notes too. Let's go. Get your pen and paper out. Let's do this. You ready? Let's get into it. Proposal elements. Why are proposal elements important? In my opinion, you should talk about the proposal elements based off of the notice of funding opportunity, RFP, or solicitation that you're reading. It should match. You should go through that, like I said, with a red pen, a highlighter, black pen, blue pen, whatever you got to do to, bullet point, get your sticky notes. You want to be spot on in alignment with those documents as you prepare your proposal. You want it to match, almost be twins. You can't really copy anything out of it because it's just telling you what you need and what they're looking for. But when I say piece by piece by piece, step by step by step, section by section by section, should match the notice of funding opportunity, the RFP, the solicitation, the contract requirements should be this. This should match. They should be twins almost, okay? So, what does a good proposal have? Number one, a good title. Titles are super important, you guys, because if you sit here and you turn in a sports proposal by mistake to the Department of Agriculture, I can never say that right. And y'all know I like to tell y'all I'm human. The Department of Agriculture, when I say it slower, it comes out much better, does not want to read your sports program grant. Now, however, if you are an organization who is helping with things like food and farming and nutrition, now they may want to read that proposal. However, comma, if the title is not correct, if it's not clear, if it's not concise, they're not reading that, y'all. They're not. They're not reading that. You can hang it up. You get what I'm saying? So, what else does it have? I would say a great introduction. Title's awesome. Oh, it's inviting. They're pulling them in. Introduction. Who are you? Some call this section the executive summary. Who are you? What do you do? Why are you important to the community? You don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this section. This section should be a synopsis of your mission and vision put together quickly. Okay? This is who you are. This is what you do. Boom. Done. Next section, the need statement. Man, this is so important, you guys. Need statements are very important and they very much, in my opinion, should match the need statement in the actual grant solicitation. If they're saying, hey, we need somebody to come over here, hopefully that somebody's you, and rebuild this library in the background because it's going to help kids, care more about reading and blah, 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 blah. You definitely want to have that in your needs statement, i.e., your organization is coming to assist with the problem and be a solution. Hi, I'm such and such. Our company fixes libraries. This is how we will help the kids engage in reading again, and etc., and etc., and etc. This is what you're going to do. Now, there's another component to this that most people brush across, the data. We are the ones because in our community, this is important because here are the facts that go behind our because. At minimum, 37% of the children in our area, in our region, depending on how you write in your proposal, you should have that specified in there. Don't have them guessing. Don't make it too wide if that's not really your reach. You can give national data. However, break it down to the ridiculous to the area that you're going to be assisting in. Talk about those needs. If you're specifically doing the library in your city, down the block, down the street, talk about that said library. You're, you're not coming for them. You're just making sure that the data matches what you're putting in this proposal. I hope that made sense. If it doesn't, let me know down in the comments and we will flush it out. But that need statement needs to match what they say the need is in that grant solicitation. Like, don't ever, ever, ever steer away. I'm gonna keep on reminding y'all, y'all need to use these solicitations and these notice of funding opportunity documents as Bibles. Like, you should be fact checking them every step of the way, especially if you're a grant writer. Especially if you're the grant writer. Like the funders, they expect you, the person who's sitting in the proposal, to understand and have read the entire document. So know exactly what that need statement is, okay? Let's go. Next one. Honey, 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 honey. What are the goals? What are the goals of your project? What are the objectives? What are you trying to do? What are you hoping to accomplish? They need to know every single step of that. It is not a joke. It is really, really, really important. And you need to know the difference. And they need to be measurable, intangible. People don't want to just give you their money if they don't know what you're going to do with it. So you need to be able to specify, very specifically state, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're aiming to accomplish, and be realistic. That's a bonus tip. Be realistic in your goals and your objectives. Don't go writing them people saying, I'm going to take 1 million people in 1 year and we're going to change their entire life and we're going to do awesome. I would look at you crazy. Because with God, all things are possible, but are you God? No. Let's move on. Project plan, method of approach. How are you going to do this? How are you going to make sure that what you put in this proposal comes to fruition? What are you going to say? What are you going to do to make sure that this happens? How and who and what is going to help you? What are y'all methods? Do you have subject matter experts? Do you have doctors on your team? Do you have investigators? What? Who's helping you? What are your methods? How are you breaking this down? How are you maneuvering through this process? Step by step, they want to know. Step by step by step by step. Okay? After you have all that down, they want to know, okay, how are you going to evaluate this thing? How are you going to evaluate this thing? Because it's very important that you're tracking the data because they want to know that they're not giving you money for no reason. Am I giving you my money for no reason? XY organization? Do you think I just have money to give? It's the government. They might. But I'm sure they would much rather put it into another budget that they don't, want us to utilize. However, comma, moving forward, rant over. What is the timeline? How long does this take you to complete? Now, when reading over those solicitations, you need to know exactly how long this grant is going to last. You do not want to write a 5-year plan and the grant is only for 365 days. That's not smart. They're automatically going to disqualify you because they're going to say, oh, she didn't read. He didn't read. That organization's, mm-mm. We said 1 year. Now, there are grants that have 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, but you need to know that before you begin writing your plan out. You need to know that before you begin writing your solicitation, in my opinion. Okay? That's important. Sustainability plan. How much money you got? Were you doing this before my grant? And if so, how are you going to keep it going if my grant goes away? We don't want you to start this wonderful, beautiful, amazing thing, you guys. And then you can't even keep it up. Why would I give you money for something that's a one and done unless it's specifically for something that's supposed to be a one and done? If my grant is supposed to be for 3 years and federal budgets get cut and they take our federal funding away and grants.gov just delete the solicitation, how are you going to make sure that this wonderful program that you created stays in place? Sometimes people put, we're gonna just be applying for other funding from other funders to keep it going. Sometimes that's not enough. So keep that in mind. You can put that from time to time, depending on, the grant funders. But some people says, that's not specific enough. Who are the people you're gonna ask for money? Are they our partners? Are they conflict of interest? We have to do all this research to make sure that that's not the case, y'all. For real, for real. We have a duty to read. I'm going to keep specifying that read thing because you'll be surprised how many people skim. They can read very well, but they're very busy, which is why they hire people like me and consultants and grant writers and all of us to make sure that we get the job done in a manner that they wouldn't because they are too busy to get it done themselves. I'll go over, you pay for service and later. Service and labor, y'all, in another video. But this is why it's so important. Like, this is live, by the way. So if I make a mistake, you know that I'm being a person. Like, if you don't like mistakes, you probably shouldn't be here in this community because again, I'm a human. I've worked with some billionaires, some trillionaires, some wonderful Fortune 500 companies, but I tell them all, if I can't come in here and be myself with your people and give them this holistic experience, not the robotic one, I don't want to come. I don't want to be your consultant. I don't want to help your team because so many people in this space are trying to make people act like they're perfect. These people know you're not perfect. You're asking them for money. Think about it. Hey, we need your money because we need help, right? So, if you don't have any flaws, if you don't need any help, if your budget is to the sky, why would I give you my grant? Anywho, rant over. You could sustain this, right? That's what they're asking. If so, show me. Because some of them gonna ask you for documents. They're gonna say, okay, this part of the proposal, let us see how you will keep up with this project and where the money gonna come from sometime. So be ready for that. Have an answer. Don't just put NA, because that's not gonna work. Okay? Awesome. Budget, 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 budget. Oh, child, the budget is crazy. Okay. You have to come correct with these budgets. And I'm telling y'all, I've seen some things. You got to be careful with this budget and you got to make sure that your budget is justified, y'all. Okay. Budget is justifiable. It cannot just be all over the place. It cannot be like, oh, we want 200,000 and that's just what we want. No, baby, no. Y'all got to come correct. You need to break it down to the ridiculous, section by section by section, piece by piece by piece. I need to know what you're asking for my money for, number one, how you're going to use it, number two, and can you make it make sense? Because just because you can put numbers beside things don't mean they make sense. So that budget narrative and that budget justification is really important. Because now you're telling me exactly step by step what you're going to do with my money. And it makes me want to give you more money, if you seem like you know what you're already doing with the money you already have. So, hey, this is the budget. These are how many, you know, people we're going to try to hire. These are our consultants. These are our tools that we need. This is our building rent. When I say break it down, break it down. Most of these bigger grants that I'm always talking about, they come with their own budget template. So that's a plus for you. But don't go messing with the formulas and stuff because you're gonna mess something up. I'm telling you from it. Listen, don't copy and paste. Just write it in. You will be very happy. Okay? We're gonna get over how to upload stuff too, because it can get tricky in that grant portal, depending on which one you're using. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. Last but not least, what are your support documents? Who thinks you're cool in the community? Who's saying, yo, I vouch for them, I got their backs. I want to make sure that they're okay. I want you to know that they're a wonderful organization. They're doing wonderful things. I have given them my full support, so much so that here it is in a letter format. Attach it to your grant. You should have support from your city, at least a city council member. The mayor's cool if you can get him for sure, because he's a busy or she's a busy person. Your local churches, your local schools, your school board officials, like make it make sense. Oh, well, if the school board supports them and the city council supports them, they must really be making a true impact. That is awesome. Let's go ahead and think about giving them some money. You know, that's important, y'all. Very, very important. I'm not even gonna hold you. Storytelling tips. Clear. Okay? Be clear, clear, clear. If you have the ability to diagram something, put some pictures in there, do that. Okay? These proposals are so important, and if you can give them visuals, they're like, "What? Wow. They went all crazy." Be explicit. Don't be in here. Oh, we're just a neighborhood. No, we are the best of the best of the best of the best for the job. Make it make sense, y'all. Use your storytelling tips from the last video to write a wonderful proposal. Write with strong declarative words. What is strong and declarative, Miss D? What is that? Use words like identify, test, establish. Okay? It's important. Design, classify, access, conduct, develop, determine. Let them know that you are attempting to make sure that this problem is really sought after and gonna get fixed. We want you to be very, very confident in your proposal. We want to be so confident in your proposal that we're like, whoa, okay. Oh, they serious. Mm. Be confident. Don't be arrogant. Don't use curse words. There's some people who would tell you to curse in your proposal. I am telling you, asking you rather, not to do that. Okay? Unless you personally know these funders and y'all have had coffee and dinner and breakfast and they said, oh man, yeah, throw that profanity in there. That's different. But 10 times out of 10, that's not where we are when we're approaching these huge funding organizations and these grant making organizations. You don't even know who's on the board. You should know who's on the review board, but you can't really determine who's going to read your proposal. There is a grant officer that you can try to get acquainted with, but they ain't on your team. I'm telling you the truth. Their goal is to make sure that the company is in good position and making sure that they're giving the right people the right money. They're going to help you and tell you about that notice of funding opportunity. That's solicitation. But if you think they're going to help you write that grant, you in the wrong section. You are building this out so that your organization can be the most successful organization. Remember, we talked about templates? The goal is to write so many grants that you have templates. The goal is to have your data so easily accessible that you can just plug and play into your proposal and you don't even have to go searching and researching for years and years or days or weeks and weeks because you already have it readily available to you. When that grant writer pull up because you heard great things about them, guess what? Here are all the things you need to make sure that you are successful in what we're asking you to do. Again, you want to have your house clean. Y'all know how I feel about having your house clean. That's a part of having your house clean. Here are my documents. Here are our budgets. Here are our financial statements. Here's our 501(c)(3). Here's our bylaws in some cases, because some people want you to upload that too. Here are all of our resumes. It's awesome. Here we go. This is not a joke. You want to make this proposal so super dope that they're like, yo, this is the best person for the job. And we're just going to give them some money. Moving on in my notes, y'all. Moving on. Okay. Tips to beef up your writing. I'm going to go over this in depth in another video because You can get on a grant review board. How? We'll talk about that later. But imagine getting on a grant review board, not because you're going to be, hey, send the grant in, I'm on the review board, but because you get to experience what it's like, what the people outside are sending in. You get to understand the process. Who's reading? How are they reading? How are they scoring? Which is really important. I don't want to be in a position where someone reads my stuff and says, this has absolutely nothing to do with what we asked you in that notice of funding opportunity. Denied. I would much rather have the conversation of, hello, how are you? Um, this is what we do. This is who we are. Hopefully you give us your money. Because at this point, you're going to be a professional beggar. That's philanthropy. I said what I said, and I'm not going to change my mind. You're going to get so good at this that everybody's going to want to fully fund you. That's the goal. The goal is not to just go out the 1 grand or 2 grands and think you're going to be done. I told y'all already, you need several types of funding to run your organizations. You need memberships. You need your events. You need your fee for services. We'll go over that stuff in another video, but that's important. You want to go out the organizational funding? What's your organizational budget? Is that in the proposal? Do I need to make sure that's attached? Is that in the notice of funding opportunity as a requirement? How many letters of support do I need? Who do I need them from? Because some of these grants, believe it or not, they require you to have a city or municipality official attached. You have to get a letter of support saying that they're supporting this specific program, not that they support your organizations because you're awesome. No. We want you to come in here correctly and tell us how much your city council member likes this particular project because it's going to help the community. It's going to impact them. It's going to bring forth, economic mobility. Y'all know when I get excited, I get tongue-tied. Keep it going. You're allowed to call the program officers. I told y'all this. But don't think they're going to write that grant for you because you're tripping. Hello, how are you? I followed everything in the NOFO. Can you please express to me your thoughts on this particular section because I'm trying to make sure I'm clear. They'll help with that. Hey, what word should I use in my proposal? I'm sorry, ma'am, you're calling the wrong number. Have a good day. Assume that these people don't know you. They don't know you and they don't know your subject matter. If you're saying you are the poverty expert and you are going to eradicate that thing, imagine everybody on the board being rich. They don't know poverty. Make it make sense to them. Break it down to the ridiculous. Make it heartfelt. Make them say, wow, I've never even thought about it like that. And get that data to back it up. You can't lose here. I'm telling you all, you cannot lose if you follow these steps. Number one, you're reading, right? After you read, you're making that 1 page prospectus. You already have your regular prospectus for the company, right? Now you're going to write a 1 pager about what you want to do with this particular funding opportunity, this particular grant, why it makes sense to you, why you know you're a good fit. And then you're going to come up with a title. You're going to make sure that title's clear. You're going to make sure that title's concise. It makes sense. It's accurate. They can determine exactly what you're talking about as soon as they pick it up. Okay? You're going to give an abstract or a summary of what you plan to do. Try to keep that short and sweet. Okay? From there, introduce yourself. How you doing? This is who we are. Okay? This is who we are. Sell yourself. Don't lie, but make it pretty. Put a bow on top. Let them know you the sugar honey iced tea, period. Then you're going to go into that needs assessment. This is why we think you should help, because this is the need. You're gonna state that need so clear, so I'm telling you, like they're gonna be like, whoa, they really need that. That's the response you want. Wow, they need that, and we need to be the one to give it to them. Clear. And the need needs to be backed up by data, specific data. Okay? We can talk nationally. We know there's a national crisis, but what's the crisis in your neighborhood? What's the crisis in your local city? Your walking distance situation? What is it? If you don't know how to find those things, talk to the people who do. Get on that phone, get on the internet, start some email chains, get some community partners. Some people partner specifically for the data on a grant because they have the data. Why would I go get it? Hey, I'm going after this funding opportunity. Are you guys going after it? If not, I would love to partner because you guys are already, maneuvering in this space, and it just would be smart for you guys to handle that part of the grant for us. And, we'll be your fiscal sponsor, whatever. Some grants you may get on and you realize, oh, you're actually better at this than me. You have more experience, you have more exposure, you have more, impact. Let me come up under you. Let's swap roles. Of course, the proper legal, legality should be in place for protection. But what are we waiting for? Let's do this. Working together is better. Y'all know I always say that. Nobody's giving you money when you're trying to do this by yourself. They're not going to do it. They're just not. You can hang it up. It just doesn't make sense. It's dumb, honestly, to think that I'm going to give you my $1 billion and I never heard of you. I ain't never seen you. Your positioning in the community is not even relevant from what I'm, fact checking on your website or your social medias, because, we love social media today, but is that website right? Are you talking about the need in your vlogs, in your blogs, and how are you showing the people that you're helping? Just saying. Now that you got that need statement and you assess the need and you make sure they understand it, you need to tell them what are your goals and objectives. And you need to know that they're two different things. Goals and objectives are not the same. Know the difference. Tell them exactly what your goals are and then tell them how you plan to accomplish them. Okay? How you plan to initiate the process or continue the process or, plan the process because there are different grant stages, there are different tiers. Some are for planning. They will give you money to start it up. Some are for implementation. Some are for continuation. It's important, y'all, that y'all know these things. What is your project plan? Hmm? How are you going to approach this thing? What are your methods? They want to know that. They care. You just can't come in here like, oh, we need the money. Okay, how you going to use it? What's your approach? How do you know it works? Evidence-based approaches matter in this space because I'm giving you my money. Remember that. All right? Evaluation plan. This one is really important because, again, you keep hearing me say the word data, but they want to know, like, how are you collecting that data? How are you evaluating? How are you checking your performance metrics? How do you know it's working? How do you know? How do you know? What are you using to, say, okay, well, on this day we started. This is how long it's been. This is how it's going. How are you doing that? Phone call, survey, phone banking, pull up, QR code. Like what are we doing? Okay? We need to know this. We need to know this. Okay? What are your train the trainer plans? Because sometimes you need to train some trainers on what you're going to be doing. You got to call in some experts, but they may not be experts in everything. So you might have to, you know, say, hey, this is how we do things. Then your timeline. Be realistic in your timeline. Don't say that in 30 days we're going to reach 1 million people. They're going to say, ma'am, sir, we're sorry. You have reached 757. Because it doesn't make sense, okay? Make it make sense. Break it down to the ridiculous and be realistic. You know your capacity. Don't confuse the potential to get this money with your actual capacity. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. We don't want to be in trouble, remember? Let's think about that. Mm. What is your sustainability plan? Hmm? How are you going to make sure that this wonderful program that you came up with or may already have going is going to stay sustained? Sustainable programming is how you get fully funded. Most people are not telling y'all that, but there's a totally different thing going on here. One is called activities. Some of them fund activities, but the goal is to get programs in place that are going to keep the community on the uprising. Have you been to Gary, Indiana? A few years ago, Gary, Indiana was not on the uprising, but it is now. Mike Epstein went out there and said, "Hey, not my community. Which one of y'all in your community are saying, hey, hey, that's my headphone? You guys just saw that? Hmm, sorry. Y'all know this is real live and full of fact. Okay? But be careful with what you're saying and what you're doing. I just want y'all to know that these people care about what you say you're doing and they're going to fact check you. And if you're saying you're doing it, they want to know how you've been doing it and why you need the help. But if we stop helping you, if something happens in the federal government and the budget get cut, can you still do this on your own? Do you have other partners? Do you have other supports? Believe it or not, the craziest thing about a grant that I have ever thought about is that they want you to already pretty much be sustainable before they give you money. They want you to look established. That's why I always express the don't lie. Don't lie to them, y'all. They they're gonna find out. Okay? Don't lie. All right. Now, this is a very, very important part. Your budget. I've talked about breaking everything down to the ridiculous, so let's just keep that coast. Break it down to the ridiculous. Make sure you're meeting the budget requirement, okay? The requirement of the budget is totally important, okay? Go back to that notice of funding opportunity, go back to that solicitation, and make sure that that budget and that budget narrative, sometime also called the budget justification, make sure it makes sense. Make sure it's in the proper format, y'all, because sometimes we just throw up a budget that we got from our friend because it made sense to them and it don't even match what the people are asking in the solicitation. Trust me, I speak from experiences where when I'm reading it over and they're showing me why they didn't win, I'm like, you wasn't ready because you were all over the place. You didn't hit the marks. Again, there are some times where you're just sending it out there to get feedback, but don't send it out there to get feedback and don't have none in alignment. That don't make sense. And the goal is for you to not be out here looking crazy. The goal is for them to at least meet you on the first time and say, Mike can't give you money today, but now I'm interested. And once you snag them, you need to keep it going, keep the momentum. That's the goal, y'all. And your support. I keep talking about support. What are your MOUs? What are the requirements for that on this proposal? How many letters of support do you need? Who do you need them from? I cannot express that enough. Don't be out here talking to the Department of Agriculture and you're talking about football, basketball. They don't care. There's ways that you can spin this because I'm a very creative writer, but don't come in here and don't have absolutely no nutritional agricultural element to your proposal and you want to come to me talking about a basketball program. It gotta make sense. If it don't make sense, they're not even gonna read it. They gonna give you 60 seconds like they do at a job interview. And if you don't snag them within that 60 seconds, 5:15, trash can, gotta go. Moving on. You didn't meet let's go. Make sure you're writing in a very big voice because you are representing your company. Nonprofits are just not I feel like they're not advertised enough as businesses, but they're still businesses, y'all. If you walked into Chase and Chase wasn't doing their regular banking stuff, you would be concerned. If they were promoting hamburgers, you would be like, what is going on in here? This is not the Chase that I signed up for when I opened up my bank account. You need to think that same way about your business. Whatever you're promoting on your website, whatever you're promoting in your vision statement, whatever you're promoting in your mission statement, whatever you're promoting on social media, that's what you need to be writing to and making it match this funding opportunity. You don't have to go creating things out of thin air. Make it make sense. This is why this money will be great for my organization because this is what we do. And if it's something where you have to get creative, make that creative thing make sense. Write it in a way that has the funder scratch their hair like, hey, well, that's pretty awesome. I can fund that. The goal is for these people to give you their money. Don't be trying to be soft. Hi, I'm no. This is public speaking. You gotta act like you in Toastmasters when you write listen, these proposals gotta come correct. They get thousands of these things, y'all, from all over the world. Thousands. I also spoke about how you need to make sure, okay, that you're talking to your area is specific. Make sure in the notice of funding opportunity, solicitation, and RFP, you're writing to the area that they're asking for. Don't be talking about Ohio and they said this grant is for Virginia. Are you crazy? I'm just saying. Don't forget to use your buzzwords, your declarative words. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna do it? Don't be afraid to pull out the dictionary or say, "Hey Siri, define this." I want to make sure it makes sense right here. If you can add a diagram, a document with a diagram, do that. Be explicit. Talk to these people. Use strong verbs. Be confident. Don't be arrogant, but be confident. Let them know, like, we're the one. We can help you. This is who we are. Be coherent. Make sure you're talking about the same thing all the way through. Boom, 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 boom. They need the whole platter to make sense. You will never see shrimp and grapes on the same platter. That's fruit and seafood are not on the same platter for a reason. You don't want to be talking about shrimp and then switch over to grapes and then switch over to crab legs and then switch over to bananas. They're gonna be like, what, ma'am, sir? What is this? I don't even know what they're talking about anymore. I'm just gonna throw this one away. Whew, man, that got intense. No, no. Speak language they understand. Talk to your funder. Know about their company. That's a great bonus to talk about. Man, if y'all don't research these people, go check their LinkedIn. Go look at their YouTube channel. Check in. Make sure that you're doing exactly what they're asking you. Know what they like. So that when you're writing, guess what? They know you have searched them. Use their quotes in your proposal from their page, from their website. They're going to say, oh, they did their research. Absolutely. My kids are walking in, so the class is over, y'all. I hope y'all have been, touched by this. It's a whole lot of y'all in this live. I hope y'all ready. And if not, let me know down in the comments. And we're going to continue this thing, y'all. We're going to continue to do what we got to do to make sure that you are proposal ready, that you are grant ready, that you are funding ready. Next video, we're going to go over the types of funding for your specific organizational capacity. That's the next masterclass I think I'm going to do. So be ready. There's a young lady out here. She says you need to be findable and fundable. I love that. She's absolutely correct. If I can't find you, how am I fund you? If I don't know what you're doing, why would I give you my money? I don't even know where you live. I don't even know where you hang out. I don't even know what you need. That's proposal elements for the day. You need a title, you need an abstract, you need an introduction, you need a need statement, you need goals and objectives. You need a plan for your trainers. You need a timeline. You need a sustainability plan. You need a budget and a budget summary, budget narrative, budget justification, because like I said, it can come in several different formats. They can say it several different ways. And you need your support documents, your MOUs, your support letters, your who's going to be helping you, who supports you, etc. You need to be able to give these people these things so that they can say, you know what? Clean, clear, concise, give them the money. Let's see what they do. And hopefully, once you get it, you do the exact right thing and they want to give you more. That's the goal. But ain't gonna beat y'all up too much. Love y'all. Bye.